Welcome to the Tempo Storm Deck Spotlight Series, featuring the new King of the Ladder, Subject 9 Hunter. A balance patch scheduled for February 5th was recently announced, with imminent changes to Emerald Spellstone and Hunter's Mark on the way. For now, Subject 9 Hunter remains at the top Tier 1 deck of our most recent meta snapshot. After the nerfs to Druid at the end of 2018, Hunter quickly rose to take its place at the top. Hunter represents a very large portion of the decks played on ladder currently, with several different archetypes being viable. The one we'll focus on for this video is the best of these, Subject 9 Hunter. Stick around to the end of the video to find the best counter for it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Tempo Storm news and Hearthstone content. Let's jump right into our deck spotlight. This deck is a form of mid-range hunter that uses a combination of secrets and minions in order to apply pressure in the early turns, and then turns towards Deathstalker Rexxar to win in the late game. What separates this archetype from other hunters is that it's more of a hybrid mid-range build, as opposed to going all in on one strategy. Subject 9 Hunter was the most featured deck at the European playoffs, showing up in almost 60% of lineups. One thing that massively helps this form of hunter is the ability to run Subject 9. Other forms of hunters such as Spell Hunter can't make use of this, significantly lowering its access to card draw. While Subject 9 Hunter is typically a faster deck, the deck can easily outgrind control decks if Deathstalker Rexxar is drawn early enough. In most games, you'll look to build an early board lead to apply pressure while using Subject 9 or Emerald Spellstone as your mid-game power turns. If opponents can outlast your early pressure, you can turn to one of your hero cards to refuel. Against faster decks, you want to focus on board control in the early turns. Due to most aggro decks not running board clears, whoever can hold the board typically wins. Use your minions and spells to generate good value trades, and once you're comfortably ahead, switch to an aggressive playstyle. Emerald Spellstone is a really good tool in aggro matchups, as it's hard for other aggro decks to ignore the pressure that 3 or 4 wolves can pile on. Against combo decks, you really want to be as aggressive early on as you can. Look to stick Crackling Razor Maw onto a minion in the early turns to push as much damage as you can. If you can build a large Scavenging Hyena in the beginning of the game, many decks will struggle to remove it, making this a viable game plan. Finally, against control decks, we want to focus our game plan entirely around Deathstalker Rexxar. In order to maximize our win percentages in these matchups, we want to avoid drawing cards, making Subject 9 and Master's Call cards we wish to avoid playing. We should focus on building a large Zombeast every turn, and trying to fatigue our opponent. While this matchup is difficult to pilot, it can be really rewarding to win when played well. Most matchups are fairly straightforward, but sometimes your game plan will shift significantly based on how you're drawing. Make sure to always be looking for ways to win the game with the cards that you have. Hunter is a very flexible class, making it really easy to find alternate win conditions. Due to how much people are playing Hunter, lists are being refined rapidly. While the list is fairly tight, there are a few changes you can make to help better certain matchups. This iteration of Subject 9 Hunter is already very good against aggressive decks due to the inclusion of Eaglehorn Bow in Flanking Strike. If you're running into a lot of aggro decks and feel the need to change the list further, you can remove Snipe in favor of adding another copy of Wandering Monster. While Snipe can interrupt your opponent's game plan, it's fairly easy for aggro decks to play around it, making Snipe not that powerful in matchups in higher ranks. It's hard to change Hunter decks to beat Control more, as Deathstalker Rexxar is already Control Killer on its own. There really aren't many things you can add to better these matchups, aside from another copy of Dire Frenzy. This card allows us to slow the fatigue count down significantly, preventing control decks to use that as a win condition against us. A deck spotlight video of one of the best decks in the ladder wouldn't be complete without highlighting a deck that beats it. One of the best counters to Subject 9 Hunter in the current meta is Control Priest. It comes equipped with tools that can remove wide boards for great value, being one of the most effective responses to Subject 9. While its survivability isn't as tanky as Odd Warrior, Control Priest has a more definitive win condition that can obliterate opponents at either 15 or 20 health. Subject 9 Hunter can still win if a Control Priest fails to find Prophet Villain in the late game, or fails to respond to turn 5 power turns, but the rest of the deck's toolkit makes Control Priest a fearsome deck to confront on the grind to legend. In conclusion, Hunter is currently a very dominant class, and even feels oppressive to some degree. The deck's ability to snowball games and use its hero cards to refuel when running out of gas is unmatched by any other class currently. Subject 9 Hunter does well against other forms of Hunter due to how much faster and more consistent it is against the rest of them, making it a good choice for ladder. Thanks for watching this video. We hope this helped you learn a little bit more about the strongest deck in the current metagame. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with our Hearthstone content. See you next time.